Hi, I'm Jay Byrne and this is the Effects Loop, and today we are doing 2 pedals, 1 amp. The amp that we're going to be running through is going to be my trusty ROLAND JC-40, my Jazz Chorus 40. Most wouldn't think of it as a metal amp, but it works quite well for metal. I'm actually playing my Epiphone Les Paul Studio today, my Randy Rhoads style Epiphone Les Paul guitar. This is part of their Inspired by Gibson line, which, as far as I'm concerned, was an awesome line of guitars because you've essentially got a Gibson at an Epiphone price. So not bad. The 2 pedals that we're going to be focusing on today are going to be the JHS, the AT Plus, the Andy Timmons Plus, which is a sort of a modified Angry Charlie, basically. If you're familiar with the JHS Angry Charlie, which is JCM 800 Marshall in a box style pedal. And we're also going to have an MXR Phase 90, so we can add a little bit of fun to this. Which is, if you're familiar with the MXR Phase 90, this is like the Eddie Van Halen phaser. This is like the popular phaser that was used in the 70s and the early 80s and all hard rock, heavy metal type stuff. But yeah. So, I've got everything set on the Andy Timmons Plus right now, somewhere in the center, except for the level. The volume is a little bit more unity, basically. It has a couple of interesting settings. It has volume, drive, is an EQ setting, which I usually keep somewhere in the center. It usually seems to be the best. Has an air setting, which I find interesting. It kind of works almost like a presence, I think. And this version, the Andy Timmons Plus, comes with a boost side, so it's like 2 pedals in one. You've essentially got your Tube Screamer boost built into the pedal, which is kind of nice, and I'll show you how that works too. And okay, so that's the settings I got now. Everything's pretty much at noon. I've got the air, which is kind of like a presence knob, which gives it a little bit more life, just a hair over half. You can run the pedal in 18 volts. It's 9 volt or 18 volts. 18 volts gives you a little more headroom. I find 9 volts is fine. 18 volts, it doesn't make that much of a huge difference when the way you're running the pedal. But now, okay, so we're running it straight. I have it like kind of in the center right now. And that's the way I run it most of the time. And there's also a boost on here, which I keep pretty much dead center as well. And if you put the boost on, that's going to give you a little bit more bite. That brings you into a little bit more of that JCM, that Marshall sound, that Marshall bite. So this is with the boost now. So that's the Andy Timmons. That's what you get out of that. Now you can go and do a little bit more with it. You can, like if you shut off the boost, you can kind of kick up the distortion and give yourself a lot more crunch. Gives you a little more crunch the louder you get it. I mean, this is all the way up. This is what you got. can boost that with the boost. A lot of noise, but... That's what you sound like. So there's plenty of distortion on tap on that pedal. You can cover a multitude of styles of music, and I mean, look, I'm playing through a jazz chorus, and I can cover metal, plain and simple. I can cover pretty much any genre of metal that I'm looking to cover. All right, so now we're gonna move ahead to the MXR Phase 90. Now, just to give you an idea of what the sweep on the Phase 90 is pretty good. Like it's. You can get kind of in that univibe kind of territory with it, I think personally. But here we've got our JHX Andy Timmons Plus, just set kind of in the middle, the way I like it. On the Phase 90 to kind of show you what you can get out of that, and I've got it kind of at a low setting. Kind of got it close to the Eddie Van Halen setting, which is around 9 or 10 o'clock on the dial. The Phase 90 is a MXR Phase 90 is a one knob pedal. I mean, you got a speed knob and that's it. But I find it works best before your distortions. After your distortions, you get a much heavier, oscillating type sound to it. But before your distortion, you get I don't know, what I think is kind of a nice even balance when you're using it. But this is with our Phase 90. So yeah, to get a nice sound there, you can really kick it into. Actually, I'll give you a little bit of a demonstration of the range of it. This is at 10 o'clock. Bring it up, you hear. You hear how that almost gets into a rotary speaker univibe type territory. The higher you kick it up, this is all the way. I usually keep it somewhere in the middle, or like I said, around 10-ish. 10 o'clock, and that seems to be the best setting for it. But you can really get into almost like a Eddie Van Halen territory. You kick on your boost here. Let's see. And you kick into your solo or something like that. It's kind of nice to use it as a solo texture. So you've got a 25 watt, this is the Andy Timmons Plus, the JHS Andy Timmons. You've got a 25 watt setting. You notice it gets a lot quieter. This is set in the center like it was before. It's crunchier sounding at the 25 watt setting. Now we can go to 50 watts. Setting actually. For the 50 watt is usable. You can get a nice like a Priesty in there. It has a nice metally kind of sound to it. Like I said, I personally, you get it to the 100 watt setting, it boosts the volume up pretty significantly. But I find that I can get, you know, just as good sounds out of that, like when I was. So you can get a lot of good sounds out of that. Like, I don't know. I prefer the 100 watt setting. It's kind of what I leave it in most of the time. But honestly, these two pedals alone and this amp can get you in a lot of territory. I mean, there is a let's show you this particular amp that I'm using. The Jazz Chorus is known for its chorus. So, I mean, you can click it into, it has a built-in chorus sound on this. I'll just give you a demonstration with the chorus so you can hear it. It thins out the sound a little bit, but crunch. Brings you right into Rush territory there. You can get that kind of like that you know, that really cool Alex Lifeson kind of like, I don't know, just that thick chorusy. You can also do some got a kind of a nice, I don't know, a kind of a Guns kind of sound going on. And like I said, that's running through a Roland Jazz Chorus. So, yeah, there's a lot that can be done with these pedals. I mean, obviously they have a million settings. This is how I use them generally. This is like my own personal settings on them. I'll give you a little more phaser here before we call it quits. Stick it in the, put it dead center on the phaser, and that kind of gives you a little bit heavier of a phaser sound. I'm going to bring down the distortion just a little bit. You can do some kind of cool. you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it with somebody. I'm really trying to get my subscriber base up, and so I can get out more of these videos and do it. Make this a thing. So, thanks for watching. This has been the Effects Loop with Byrne.